Welcome back to the One Lovely Couch YouTube channel. We're back again with another video. I know y'all been waiting. We know y'all been waiting. Today's video is going to be an interview with our big cuz and our big Cuzette.
Why are you laughing?
Danica and Maurice Mobley. They have a new YouTube channel called the Mobley Culture. We'll leave a link of their YouTube channel in the description box below so you guys can actually see part 1 of the interview. On our channel, we're gonna be doing part 2. So it's gonna be the second half of the interview. We hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get into it.
How did you prepare for marriage? How did Kamaya prepare to be a wife? How did Jalen prepare to be a husband? What did y'all do?
I became the best person that I could be. And I strived for that every single day. So we got engaged February 2nd of 2020. And we got married August 22nd, 2020. So we had 6 months of that preparation time. Prior to being engaged, my goal for myself was be the best person that you can be. If anybody experiences you, you should want them to leave you better than what they can. That was my personal goal. When I got engaged, I really didn't read a whole lot of books. I really didn't go through the whole, this is how you become a wife phase, except for during premarital counseling. And that was geared a lot towards you still being that best person that you can be. And then recognizing that the traumas and the emotional things that you went through prior to this mindset shift now need to be in the forefront of your mind. You've been able to handle and deal with them because you've learned how to navigate it, but now this other person has to navigate it. So be prepared for what it is, and then be able to say like, hey, are you willing to take this? When you take me, you taking all of this too. Know that I'm working on it, but are you willing to take it? So for me, preparing for marriage, it was mostly about being that best person I could be. And I think that because I focused on that, I'm now the bomb wife. When I think about being a wife, I think about I'm only a great wife because I'm a great Kamaya. I can't tend to him. I can't feed and cater to him if Kamaya's not well. What am I giving if I have nothing? So keeping that in the forefront of my mind is definitely what helped me prepare for marriage. And also, I don't think you ever prepared, but so yeah, what would you say for you?
Very simple. Again, outside of the formality of premarital counseling and receiving spiritual wisdom, guidance, and ensuring from a pastoral perspective, from our leadership at our church, outside of all of that, the only preparation I had was prayer and thoughts. And one of my motivating factors of writing the books that God has given me already, but then also to just be a resource, provide tangibilities for men in preparation for something like marriage. Like society always says that usually the wedding and marriage, when you think about it and you hear it, society, it's the woman, it's the woman, it's the woman, it's the woman. But really think about how important and how potent it can be if there's no feeding to the man's soul. Because what is he responsible for that day? Besides saying, I do and I vow to do this. People come, and I've shared this with my pastor, shared it with her. You can come to me all day. Treat her right. Boy, you better do this. And the uncle talks, all that stuff. Like, that's fine. I get it. And I respect it and honor it. However, what help do I have? Or what help does the common man have to quote unquote prepare for marriage? There are spiritual and natural resources that are held back because they're so easily poured into the woman. Now, the Bible talks about how the man is leaving his father and his mother and clinging to his wife. That's a huge responsibility. So I've been brought up in an environment, whether it's toxic or not, depending on the upbringing, all the experiences that you had as a child. But because I was with a seed of my father and mother, I have to leave them, become this individual for this amount of time. So in my time frame, it was 6 months. Become an individual with all the baggage that I had, and then cling to this woman who is now my wife. And you expect me to just be this great person and right off bat? Right. So where's the equality? And I'm not saying that it's bad, or I'm not being again facetious about anything. It's just there's an imbalance.
Yeah.
It's just the mental and emotional preparation. And so now again, with it being a personal endeavor of mine, to dig deep into those emotional things, those traumas, things that I've dealt with. Why did I, have those relationships with women like I did? And what is it about my emotions that I'm so afraid to let go, or so afraid to share with the person who I'm supposed to feel the safest with? And those are things I'm doing 6 months into marriage. This is my first time having a counselor. At 27, which is great, you know what I'm saying? But these are things that, I chose to do, again, because I don't want any other man, however many men God will bless me to be able to pour into, I don't want them to struggle with that, with the identity of becoming their own man in God and then clinging to their wife.
Because ultimately, if those things are not dealt with, the wife is now nurturing. And the one thing that I learned during premarital counseling is that the wife is a nurturer, period.
Absolutely.
That you give her lust, she's nurturing lust.
Absolutely.
You give her infidelity, she's nurturing infidelity. You give her lying and cheating, that's what she's nurturing. You give her grace, she's gonna nurture some grace.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's like something that people do not really talk about, but they also don't hold it to a standard. It's really just like, the wife is great, the man has to be great because the wife is great. Let's talk about the man though. Let's shine some light on him and make sure he's okay. Because even though the light is on me, it's all about me. Do you realize that now I'm up under him? What if he is dull? And now the bright light is dim because it's up under him. Like, why do people not think of that? Like, yeah, the woman has a lot of power, once she gets married or is in a relationship, but still the order that God has set it up to be is submission. So immediately when I'm thinking now to him as my husband, whatever he's dealing with, I'm dealing with it too. And it's nuts because it's like, okay, well, can we do better? But I can't see him. I'm not finna drag him. He's heavy. Like, okay, Lord, you got us. A lot of times if we withhold ourselves, there's a scripture, I don't know what scripture it is, I just recently read it, but it talks about withholding yourself from your spouse. And I think a lot of people like refer to it as like sexually, like don't withhold yourself from your spouse. But truthfully, I think it's in its entirety, don't withhold yourself, because really if God is blessing you to be that person in this covenant and in this marriage, he's expecting you to reflect him in the marriage. So if he's going through something and I'm feeling like, oh, why do he get to go through this and there's no repercussions, or why do I finally communicate and it just seems like nothing's getting fixed? Like, why does it seem like nothing's happening? A lot of times I check myself because I'm like, Lord, help me to understand where he's at. Because maybe something is happening and I don't see it because I'm so focused on me being angry. And then nothing ever really changes. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me get done sulking, pick me up. And then when he picks me up and sends me with grace and love, and I just go to him and I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. I usually do not speak a lot. I've learned with my husband that whatever I say can heal him or it can break him. Even if I feel that how I'm feeling is valid, even if my feelings are hurt, I pray every time I'm feeling some type of way about something and I need to communicate it to him. I always pray first because I'm like, Lord, if I say something to him about how I feel, even though it's how I feel, it can stab him. It can hurt him because a lot of times he'll take it as I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. And ultimately that's not even the case. It's just I'm feeling some type of way. Why am I feeling some type of way? Then that causes discord and then he retreats and then he don't want to talk. And I'm like, girl, all you had to do was go and have love. Speak in love. Okay, babe, let's talk about this because I'm uncomfortable. And I'm pretty sure you're uncomfortable because I'm uncomfortable and we're one. So let's talk about it. And then when we talk about it, if I'm thinking, always have grace when you speak, I'm praying that he's thinking the same thing. Because he's realizing too, I'm one with her. I don't want to hurt her. Even if I'm telling her how I really feel, I don't want to hurt her. And that's not my intent. So God, put your grace here, put your love here. So in this conversation, we both are receiving what you want us to receive. Not the fact that I hurt this person and we're in the same room and we don't want to deal with it. Or there's
See, that was a struggle for me, is feeling comfortable enough to tell him how I truly feel about stuff because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I didn't want to break his spirit.
Yeah. And sometimes I didn't give her the space to be able to talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm in the wrong, I'm already getting her up off me. So she like, oh, I can't even come to this joker to even talk to him to get it right because he already, so I got a lot of my dad in me, good and bad. Right. You understand? So I had to learn how not to be aggressive when she comes to me, but to humble myself and allow her the opportunity to, say what she need to say and not feel like, oh, I'm gonna step on his toes. I might hurt his feelings or he might jump down my throat. You know what I'm saying? So that was a challenge for me, being able to humble myself, So.
Also, to that, I learned if I am afraid to go to my spouse about an issue, about a conflict, about something that I'm just feeling heavy about, if I'm afraid to go to him, I'm slapping God in the face because I'm acting like God is not there. I'm not giving God room to be the third strand in the marriage. I'm not giving God the room to be the person to mediate. I'm just thinking it's just me and him. It ain't just me and you. If I'm thinking, okay, I know I need to tell him this because it's weighing on me, whether it has something to do with him or not. If I go with the mindset of God is there, whatever is going to come out of my mouth, I'm praying that God is the filter.
Yeah, right.
Giving God the room to be the filter. So when Jalen hears it in his ears, he's hearing what God needs him to hear. He's not hearing hurt. He's not hearing pain. But if I'm just going thinking God is not present and he's not that filter and I'm not honoring and putting God there, because God is always there. But if we don't give each other room to say, okay, we're honoring God and God is in the room, then there is going to be no filter. Right. Then it is going to be hurt. It is going to be tension because that person's going to be thinking immediately ill intent. Why they yelling at me? I'm getting defensive now. You have to, if you're the person receiving, you still have to honor God and say, God is the filter. Let me hear what the other person's trying to say. And then as the one speaking, you have to still, let me step back, honor God, let God be the filter. And if you don't, chaos always happens.
Oh, yeah. So like, I'm kind of doing this backwards. I guess maybe I should have started with this question. But how did y'all meet?
So back in 2016, I was my senior year at Ferris State, and I had just got out of, not a relationship, but I was still talking with someone, and that was like almost a year after I got my heart broken. So anyway, it's October.
Yep.
Yeah, October 2016. Evan Lachey, he's a mutual friend of both of ours. He has a bonfire in his house. I'm always there, just relaxing, chilling. And Kamaya was in town from Lansing that night or that weekend. And so he invited her. So he's introducing her to everybody. Then he's like, Jay, this is my girl Kamaya, Lansing, my childhood friend, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. What's up, Kamaya? Not really like thinking about it. It's super dark outside, whatever. So we're around the bonfire. He asks us to bring some material to put in the fire so we can keep the fire going. And so, I made a few comments about her and all that stuff. Like, one, I knew she was super churchy just by the way that was my comment, churchy, but I knew ultimately she's just very, very different. She grabs this poster board out of her trunk, and it happened to be her Sweet 16 poster with a bunch of pictures and all that kind of stuff. And she was just like, don't tell my granny, that I'm putting this in the fire or whatever, because I'm not going to do nothing else with it. Come to find out, that's when I realized who her family was. I'm like, well, that's crazy. I know your granny. I know everybody. The night ends. Weeks later, she's back in town visiting. She visits Grace. She gets prayed. Did she get prayed over at that time? She gets prayed over and prophesied over by Pastor Lachey, some personal stuff. I didn't hear it at the time. And basically, she was in the stage in life where God was moving her from Lansing to Grand Rapids, and she just needed to find a church home. So long story short, from there, she realized that I also played the drums because I saw her at church the next day. Said what's up to her, talked about her burning the poster board and all that stuff, and then realized that, wow, she knows Pastor Shay, knows the family, so she's going to be at church. A few weeks roll by, and she finally joins. She moves to Grand Rapids, gets a job and everything. And December rolls around. That's when I graduated from Ferris, December. And my birthday was always like the day of or the day before college graduation at Ferris. So that entire week, My birthday, I believe, was like a Thursday that year, and ended up having a birthday and graduation dinner, just, very intimate, invited some family and a few people. So anyway, Kamaya was the first one to show up. That spoke volume automatically. And she not only showed up first, but she also showed up with this crazy dope gift. She knows that, I'm in business, because when we had a conversation, I told her about James the Enterprises and all these other things. Push pause. I forgot one part. She also, right after she joined Grace, there was a social event that we had. A friend was releasing like her first single. And then after that, we all went out to eat to B-Dub. So I'm in school, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing football. I ain't got no job. The only money that I was getting from the church that I was playing the drums for, that's on car note, car insurance. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out here just, like Martin, I'm hanging out. So, we go out to eat. I'm just like, well, I'm going to drink some water. I'm eating celery from somebody's wing basket. So I'm going to just chill. You feel me? So a friend of mine, she offered to pay my food, but this was right after Kamaya saw that I wasn't eating. And she was like, "Are you not eating?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just, I'm here for the social, social stuff." And she's like, "That's funny." And I'm like, "You for real?"
His answer was, "I don't really like B-Dubs.
I really don't.
I don't really like B-Dubs.
I don't either."
I was like, "But you're a football player. Like, you need to eat." But,
right.
Yeah. So I really, that's not a huge fan of it. So anyway, so she's like, "Just order something. You're a football player. I know you're hungry. Do what you got to do." And I'm like, "All right, whatever." So anyway, go back to the graduation. She gives me this binder. And on the binder, this business binder, you can put like business cards and all that stuff in there. On the lower right corner, the silver plaque, and it was engraved with my initial. And at the time, she didn't know that the name of my business had my initials in it. And so I'm just like, oh yeah, she's something different, And so she shows up, talks to my parents. And my dad, and I don't know if you guys know this, but my dad used to always preach at Ballpark's church whenever he was out of town.
Okay.
So would always visit Battle Creek, like very often, and never knew that this was a product of the family. And so my dad has a field day with all of that stuff. And prior to that, Granny Mac actually told her to invite me on the cruise that they went on that year. Like, I don't know this dude, Jalen. Like, no.
He's not about to be my guest.
You know what I'm saying? So her granny's just like, no, I know his family. He's a great man, blah, blah, blah. Hyping me up. But I'm just like, I can't do that anyway, because Ferris, shout out to the Bulldogs, we were always winning. So we were still playing football at that time. And we were going into the semifinals that year. So we had to travel to Missouri, all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, that's a great invitation, but I can't do that. So dinner gets over. She's the first one there, last one to leave. She has a great conversation with my dad. My dad always asks somebody, like, can you sing for me? My dad, his brothers, rest in peace, they are singers. And so singing and music is in my family. So my dad, in a joking and loving way, just like, Mike, can you sing me a song? And so she's like, okay, well, what song do you want me to sing? So he was taken aback by that, because no one ever, including me, ever answers like, well, what song do you want me to sing? So she sings a song and just, like, okay, I'll find out the rest of the words, whatever. So he falls in love with that. And then we graduate, and obviously we both go to the same church, and we become closer and closer as friends. Like, legit. And
just friends.
Literally just friends.
Yeah.
And speculation started going around already. Like, oh, they having sex, they're dating, they're doing all of this, blah, blah, blah. And so we're friends for a few months, 4 months literally. And March 17th, I ended up, or not March 17th, but a few days before I officially asked her to be my girlfriend, she had a dream. Push pause. This is another thing that I wasn't a fan of. So my ex, my ex, who I was dating, she was also a dreamer. So her family's very spiritual as well, but God spoke to her in dreams and stuff too. And then after that, I only dated her for 4 months, technically. So The woman that came to the dinner, she also, God talks to her through dreams and stuff too. So anyway, in my ex relationship, she would have these dreams and visions and would manipulate me emotionally and spiritually to be how she wanted me to be in order to make her happy. And then the other young lady who came to the dinner to drop the gift off, she told me that she had a dream that I was her husband. So me, I'm never the type of person, and I always knew spiritually, regardless of how deep I was in sin, I always tell Kamaya, regardless of how deep I was in sin, I always still had the spiritual inkling, right? So I'm like, well, that's funny, because God ain't show me that you are my wife. Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, you gonna tell me first.
You know what I'm saying? So when Kamaya's like, I had this dream, I'm like, here we go again. I ain't got time for that, God. So there were times prior to this, what I'm about to tell you, where she would text me in church, like, I had this dream last night, or I had this dream earlier this week, and I'm like, she would hear it in my text, like, I don't want to hear about it. Tell me about it, and then I would not have a response, so on. So anyway, the dream, shortly before me asking her to be my girlfriend, she had a dream that we were standing at a crosswalk, and one of our hands was covering our mouths, and the other one was just laying by our side. At a crosswalk of a busy street. So she gave me the depiction of New York City. Think of New York, how there's constant traffic, and you literally have to time it perfectly in order for you to cross the street. And she said, what God revealed to her was, we have to uncover our mouths and actually speak the things that we desire and share some things with each other personally about what we want, in regards to relationships. And she said that symbolized us removing our hand. And then she said the other hand, we simply just, like, she reached out her hand, I grabbed her hand, we locked fingers, and then we just walked across the street. So when we walked across the street, traffic stopped and we didn't get hit by anything. And she, we kind of just pondered on it for a little bit, but we ended up coming to the spiritual conclusion that if we're going to do this, we have to do it together, trusting that God is going to be in the midst of it. And whatever we come against that traffic, it'll have to stop. And if it doesn't stop, God will give us the provision for us not to get hit, moving forward. March 17th is when we became official. From that point on, we dated for 3 years, almost 3, because it'll be 4 this year. So almost 3 years, about 3 years. And got engaged February 2020, and here we are married.
That's how y'all met. I love it.
And that's why I'm really grateful, because there's so much that we can talk about, so much to go into, and we can do it with each other while having fun. And that's what I'm so excited about. And my thing is, I don't want to do YouTube because you can make a coin or get the attention, because I really do not like the attention like that. But I am excited to make the memories. I want my kids to be able to go back and be like, my parents did something cool, and always be able to access our memories. Because I'm really not good at taking pictures of us and videos. But for us to do YouTube, I'm like, you know what, God? Because our relationship is so great, and every time we talk to people, people are like so engulfed in, your presence because of what we strive to do in our alone time with you. If you want us to be those people, if you want us to be that mouthpiece in this kingdom, okay. And however you want it done, I will do that for you. Because you've done so much for me already. But most importantly, I've learned that there is something that we have that a lot of people strive for and don't know how to get it.
Right.
Everybody can get it. They just have to put in the work to do it. If this ain't always been this, and this is what we did to get there, then hopefully we can get more people to get to the place they want to be. Because our relationship, I never would have thought I could be in it, because I'm like, man, I just want this, and I'm dreaming about this, and I want it to be this way. And when you meet somebody that comes from a completely different upbringing than you don't really see that happening. But we choose to be like, well, this is how I want it to be. And we make sure it happens. But it comes from so many different things. So I'm really excited just to be able to do this and not care so much about people's opinions of supporting or not supporting, but doing it because you want to. That's what's driving me. And I pray that that's what continues to drive us, even if we get big. And if we don't get big, that's all right. But I'm grateful, and I know God's hand is on it, so we probably gonna get big, and that's gonna be fine because we pay our tithes.
Okay.
What's up, y'all? I hope y'all enjoyed that video, man. I know it was kind of meaty. Pause. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Had a lot of content to it, man. But that conversation just flowed. Especially, you know, when we are with our big cousin and big Cuzette, the Mobley Culture, it's always a great conversation, man. So we're excited. Let us know if you want us to have more interview videos like that for the future. But just know that this style that we have right here for this intro and outro, this is getting ready for our vlog section. Okay?
Back with another banger vlog.
You see how I didn't interrupt your time, but now my time gets interrupted with the shenanigans.
Okay.
Anywho, thank you again.
Thanks for watching.
Man, we love y'all so much. Again, leave any comments, questions, or concerns, prayer requests in the comment section. Please follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We can't wait to see y'all again on the next video. One Lovely Couch, we out.
We love y'all. Okay, this Pimper Joan got to go. I'm gonna do the video like this.
We gotta go.
Hey y'all.
Stop
What's
doing
up?
that. Don't be
Just covering
it
up my Pimper Joan.
Oh my God.
Say something, babe.
You gotta start.
We're back again.
Oh my goodness.
We're back again with another video.
What are you doing?
I was trying to cover up my Pimper Joan. Okay, we always busting. Okay, come on, babe, for real. Let's intro.
I'm waiting on you.
Let's intro now. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, can't get the house over there. Listen, y'all, we going through some stuff over here at the couch residence.
Man,
We
just moved.
We just moved. It's a little bit hectic over here. Hey y'all. This my baby mama. Did you see that?
Kamaya, can we just do the intro?
Hey y'all. This my baby mama. Okay, come on, let's do it.
I'm waiting on you.